Today's exclusive coverage of the NASCAR Super Truck Series by Craftsman at the 18th Annual Copper World Classic on TNN is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Well, you see them lined up along the front straightaway, and what a beautiful sight as the Super Truck Series by Craftsman is set to make its official debut. And I'm already in the hole for $3 here because I've been saying pace car. There's the Chevy pace truck they've been using all throughout the Copper Classic today. So we each put in $1 to the Snell Foundation that does the helmet testing for each time we say car instead of truck today. So folks, you can help keep score on us at home. Here's how they qualified for the inaugural event here. The pole sitter is again a surprise. Ron Hornaday Jr. and Dale Earnhardt's truck is on the pole. Kenny Schrader in the HC Delco Chevy outside. Terry Labonte inside row number 2, the DuPont Chevy. And the Performance Friction Hella Light Chevy for Johnny Benson Jr. is outside the second row. Fifth fastest is Joe Bessey in the Taylor Toggs Dodge, and Roger Mears, the off-road champ, he is in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Row number 4 is Joe Ruttman in the Koch Ford pickup, and Rick Corelli, the Total Petroleum Chevron Chevrolet. Row number 5, the Exide Batteries Ford for Jeff Bodine, and road racing star Scott Lagacy from Florida, the DuPont Chevrolet. Row number 6, Mike Bliss, who already has a Copper Classic win here today in the Ultra Wheels Ford, and Sammy Swindell, World of Outlaws star in the Channel Lock Tools Ford. Row number 7 in the Spears Manufacturing Chevy is Bill Sedgwick from California, P.J. Jones in a new ride, the Sears Die Hard Chevy. Jack Sprague is a Chevrolet in the 8th row. Mike Skinner in the Richard Childress Chevy, Goodwrench truck. Butch Miller in the Ray Bestis Ford, and Gary Collins in the Carrera Shock Sunoco Chevy. Then it'll be Toby Butler inside of row 10, the Ortho Lawn Care Ford, and Bob Strait, the Target Expediting Ford F-150. Row number 11, road race star Tommy Archer, the Archer Motorsports Ford, and Kerry Teague in the KT Motorsports Chevrolet. Further back is Bob Keselowski in the Winnebago Dodge, and Troy Beebe in the Taco Bell Chevrolet. Row 13, Coach Jerry Glanville, Georgia the Glanville Racing Ford, and Steve McEachran, Phoenix the McEachran Racing Chevrolet. Row number 14, Jerry Churchill, the trucker from Detroit in a Ford, and Walker Evans, the Barbary Coast Dodge. Then it's T.J. Clark. He's in the American Racing Wheels ASE Ford, and Mike Hurlburt from Washington, the RPM Racing Ford. Next, it'll be Butch Gilliland from Anaheim, California, the Ultra Custom Wheels Valvoline Ford, and John Nemechek, Joe's younger brother from Lakeland, Florida, the Redding Race Car Chevy. Finally, there's John Borneman, last car in the field. That is the Sophie Sportswear Company Chevrolet. Took a hard hit into the wall and got made into a really short bed Chevy yesterday. They've got it fixed, and he is in the field.
This is going to be one exciting race. You know, it's going to be exciting, first of all, because it's the first one, but the trucks really handle good. I was real surprised about what I was doing, you know, with the setups on the truck.
Here's Johnny Benson Jr. Ernie, we're going to ride along with him today. The Performance Friction Hella Lights Chevrolet. From the inside and from the right side doorpost and over the tonneau and spoiler. Also Rick Corelli, the Total Petroleum Chevrolet. We'll be riding along. There's the view inside. What Rick sees, big shade over that windshield, a lot of tape. Out the right side and back in toward Rick. The High Plains Drifter ready to go hard at work. And from our, we're going to call it the gun rack cam, folks, because that's where it is, okay? And a new TNN innovation. The folks from Boykin and Associates will be able to give you in-car, picture-in-picture. So now you can see out the front of Corelli's car, and also you'll be able to see out the back at the same time, and I don't think any network's been able to do that.
Wow. Are we getting tricked or what?
We're trying.
Well, the history is fixing to be made right now. Boy, I tell you what, every race I've watched these trucks run in has been better and better. This is the biggest field ever, and the start of the whole season.
Richard Childress in a familiar spot atop the number 3 pit. But today, instead of Dale Earnhardt being his ally, Earnhardt is his adversary. Look at T.J. Clark there, getting ready to roll. big field of trucks.
You said a mouthful right there. The people you want to beat the most are the people you work with. You can always remember that. Nobody would love to have bragging rights more than Earnhardt saying, "I beat your truck, Mr. Childress."
In today's field, Chevrolets, Fords, and Dodges. Here's how they stack up. Of the trucks that will start: 17 Chevys, 13 Fords, and 3 Mopars. Well, the Chevy Pace truck is about to lead them out of turn 4, and we're ready to go green. And the Super Truck Series by Craftsman is about to get its first official lap of competition in front of a packed house here at Phoenix International Raceway. Who will lead the first lap? We're green, and it is Hornaday with a jump.
Hornaday got a nice jump there. You see the Iceman on the inside. Terry Labonte has moved into second.
And they're hauling the mail off turn 2.
Well, folks, you're seeing history made right now. It's the start of a new series, the first points race, and we have it right here on TNN.
2 years ago, they said this couldn't be done. Even Bill France was a skeptic when 4 off-road truck owners came to him and said, "We want asphalt pickup truck racing, and it's going to be big." They made a believer out of Bill France and the folks at NASCAR. And folks who think they'll make a believer out of you. Johnny Benson, Joe Bessey says hello.
That old Dodge must have really took off that corner.
Yeah, that's one of those red Rams, isn't it?
He's using the horns on that round.
Yeah. They're still side by side for 4th place. That's Bessey, number 30 in red. Johnny Benson, number 18.
Yep.
Right behind him.
Johnny Benson got a good drive off the corner there. He got ahead. But I tell you what, the Benson truck, I think, probably shows up.
Oh, trouble, turn 1, in the wall, Rick Corelli.
Uh-oh.
The car came down to the bottom of turn number 1, and then, as if he had a flat right front, just went straight up and in. One truck spins to avoid contact at turn 2. There's Corelli's truck limping along.
Heavy
Trouble on the right front. Corelli is okay. We'll bring that truck along to pit road for repairs. 3 laps in the books. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Phoenix. You're looking at a dejected Rick Corelli as they have a look at the right front suspension on his truck, and the field is going to go green without him. Let's check with Glenn.
And he does lose a lap as the field takes the green. They came back in just to check everything over. He did take a pretty hard look. I'm going to try to get a word with Joe Garone, the crew chief, and see exactly what the problem is. We'll report back.
Mike, after lap 5, Ron Hornaday is leading. Terry Labonte in second. Ken Schrader's running third. Johnny Benson's in third, and Joe Bessey's in fourth.
And they're side by side for 6 just behind them. Joe Ruttman inside of Jeff Bodine. There's your front 5, and that 6th place battle is the one right there, side by side. Bodine and Ruttman. And P.J. Jones in the number 1, the diehard truck, way up high. And Mike Skinner.
Ernie, he's using your money.
That Ernie owns half that 84 truck, folks. But Joe Ruttman is in, and Mike Skinner just kind of woke up the rear bumper of that truck.
You know, that's part of it. You know, racing's racing, and you know, I'm pretty excited about being in the spot I'm in, and excited about Joe, you know, doing a good job with our truck.
Look at P.J. Jones and Jeff Bodine go at it here.
Yeah, and that's the number 3 truck there, Mike Skinner. Everybody remembers this car or truck from the whoa, $1 down. Remembers this from the winter heat. He qualified way back in the field, but as you can see, he's on a steady march to the front. He had ignition trouble and coasted from the 4th turn into the start-finishing line and still run a 70. So he was right up in there. He probably had the fastest truck here, but he had ignition trouble.
He's been one of the faster trucks all weekend. You know, they did some testing here, and you know, obviously they got their act together.
6th place battle. Number 7, Bodine. Number 1, P.J. Jones. Number 3, Mike Skinner. Everything's single file in front of them, so we'll stay with this because this is a hot one.
Well, Mike, everybody wants to know if these guys really go at it in the Truck Series. You can see right here, it's just as good a racing as any you'll see. Oh, a little sideways for P.J. Jones coming up out of that corner there.
It looks like a little sideways for Jeff Bodine coming off for turn 4.
And And Skinner gets underneath Bodine at turn 2.
You know, the thing is nobody really knows a good setup for Phoenix with a truck, because you don't really know what it's going to do during the race, and that's one of the things that we were fighting with all weekend.
Skinner takes the edge on Bodine. Jeff back to 8th. Mike Skinner settles in 7th. P.J. Jones is 6th. Let's show you earlier what happened to Rick Corelli.
Well, this is out of the camera on the right-hand side. Oh, I relate to that story there. I've done that many a time. He just got up. It looked like he had a flat tire and got up in the wall.
Troy Beebe makes a pit stop in the Taco Bell truck. Here are your leaders. Terry Labonte keeping very close tabs on Ron Hornaday. Hornaday the leader. Labonte looking. Ken Schrader in 3rd. Johnny Benson is 4th. Welcome back to Phoenix. 13 laps complete. And you're watching the leaders. Ron Hornaday driving for Dale, and actually Teresa Earnhardt is listed as the truck owner.
Same as.
And there's Terry Labonte.
Oh, Terry.
Lights up the right rear.
I think it's more smoke, something else. You know, he's got a motor trouble or some other reason.
Ken Schrader right behind Labonte. Johnny Benson, top of your screen in 4th.
Joe Bessey in 5th, and the 3 truck is closed in now, trying to take over 5th position.
Big trouble, turn 4. Everything scatters.
Everybody continues on.
Gary Collins, the Mason Marin Raceway truck, been out of shape there, and we are under caution for the 2nd time at lap 15.
There was trucks everywhere coming off turn 4.
Well, one nice thing about racing the pickup truck we saw yesterday back in the garage area, when you knock a bunch of fenders and hood off it, they can load it in the bed to drive it on out. Top of the screen. Have a look, see what happens up here.
Oh yeah, it looks like he got on the apron or something coming off turn 4.
See the tire smoke off of there. Every truck coming out of that corner runs into this haze right here. The visibility is down to nothing, so it's just chain reaction. Everybody either locks the brakes up or runs in the back of somebody. You can see a little contact coming off there. Everybody was very lucky that nobody went out in that wreck.
Gary Collins going around and bringing out the 2nd caution of the day at turn number 4. Troy Beebe's truck was behind the wall briefly and then back out. So we are under yellow as you look back from Rick Corelli's truck. Corelli did have a tire go flat right front going into turn 1. That caused the collision with the wall. Glenn found out from his crew. They've made repairs, and he is back out there running for this championship and chasing points. So 16 laps are complete as the pace truck hauls them around here. Let's see. Yes, looks like we'll go green in 1 lap. Here's Glenn.
Like you said that Troy Beebe's truck had been behind the wall. It is back again, and you've had a pretty exciting day, Troy.
Yeah, it started out, we ran hard in the Southwest Tour Taco Bell car and didn't move too far forward, and then hopped in the Decure Motorsports Taco Bell truck, and throttle hung up there on the first couple laps, and had to spin the truck to keep from crashing it, and then we got some kind of oil leak, so it's going to be a little long day in the Super Truck race.
Well, he'll stick in there. He'll get back out if all possible. And while I've got it, Mike, I will update the fact that Rick Corelli's crew did report that he cut a right front tire down to cause that meeting with the wall down in turns 1 and 2. The problems they have are obviously some suspension damage on the right front, but their biggest concern is that it bent the rear end housing. You can't fix that.
Nope.
No, that thing will run sideways all day, and it'll be extremely hard on the tire wear too.
A little bit of our newest innovation where we put an in-car picture in the picture. Show you a couple different views at once here as we get ready to go racing.
I noticed that they're having double file restarts, which we didn't really see a lot of that here lately. And it looks like the truck, you know, can come up on the inside to try to get a lap back.
We'll see if anybody can do that as we get ready to go back to green. And it is Ron Hornaday bringing them down the front straightaway. As we go back to green with Terry Labonte in 2nd. and number 5, Kenny Schrader in 3rd.
Skinner's the one that's looking really good. He's passed a lot of trucks, and he's on his way to the front. That thing really has a lot of horsepower coming off turn 2.
As you're speaking, there comes Skinner on the outside. He makes a pass on Joe Bessey and pulls right up on the back tailgate of the 18 truck of Johnny Benson.
Johnny Benson had never seen Phoenix, and he ran his first laps here at 30,000 feet. He had a NASCAR computer game on the airplane on a laptop computer and ran some laps before he got here.
I don't know if that helped him at all, but
well, he said he had fun.
Yeah, had fun. Kenny Schrader's really looking good in 3rd. You know, he'll be one that'll save them tires, but he's got the Iceman in front of him, and obviously Terry Labonte will save those tires too.
Well, right now, Mike Skinner's trying to figure out just exactly what he's going to do with all the horsepower he has. I've seen him make 2 or 3 moves there trying to get by Johnny Benson. Johnny Benson's running a very smart race. As we speak, Terry Labonte is trying to make a move on Ron Hornaday.
Let's check with Glenn.
Well, guys, you reported seeing some smoke on Terry Labonte's super truck. I checked with crew chief Gary DeHart, and he says that they think it was just they had it too full of water. Water was overflowing, creating some smoke. Seems to have dissipated now. They're not too concerned about it.
Thanks, Glenn. Mike Skinner moves up past Johnny Benson into 4th.
Well, he moved up to 4th. What a great thing this truck division has turned into. Where would Mike Skinner ever get a chance to drive for Richard Childress in such a great ride? This is only going to help his chances of getting in the Winston Cup later on.
There's no doubt about that. You know, this truck series is taking off, and it's giving a lot of other people other chances to drive really good vehicles.
He's got to jumpstart a few careers and perhaps restart some others for some drivers that have been out of the limelight for a few years. You're riding with Johnny Benson Jr., Busch Grand National Rookie of the Year. That's Joe Bessey just behind him. Front 4 have really tightened up. Bumper to bumper.
Terry Labonte's making a move coming off turn 4 there. He's
Trouble in 4. The Ortho Lawn Care truck goes around. So does Bill
Slow down,
Sedgwick.
slow. Ooh, man, Walker Evans.
Missed everybody. How did he do it?
We have some damage to 3 trucks up there that I can see right now.
That's 23 TJ Clark, the Automotive Service Excellence Ford. They did a neat thing at a local Target store here the other day. They brought in high school kids, teams of kids from trade high schools to do pit stop contests. Cerritos High School out of Tucson was the winner. Kind of a thing they'll do at different stops of the series around the country. And this 8 truck has had a tough week.
Tough week.
John Borneman out of Ramona, California, shortened up the bed the other day. Craig Hewitson and his team worked all night last night, right through till morning, to fix the back end of the truck. And it looks like they're going to have a long week ahead. Chain reaction crash. We'll show it to you when we come back. 23 laps are complete. Well, they put TJ Clark's short bed pickup on the rollback.
Wow.
He was apparently the most serious damaged of those trucks involved. Clark was one of them. John Borneman was in it. Jerry Glanville, Toby Butler, Bill Sedgwick, Bob Keselowski, and Steve McEachran.
Well, it looks like Sedgwick and Butler may have made contact first, and then this is chain reaction. Everybody's trying to slow down. You see tagged there, locking the brakes up, going down. Watch this truck go back up the racetrack.
Now, from behind Rick Corelli's car, there's McEachran. Sliding through.
Yeah, he goes back up the racetrack here. He's really lucky nobody wasn't shooting through that hole at that time.
Luckily, his tailgate wasn't down.
Right. There's Walker Evans, who made an unbelievable move between crashed trucks.
I don't know whether that's a good move or just out of control, wide open through there and made it.
Looked like a good move to me. He got away with it. Let's call it a good move.
It worked anyway.
Here's Glenn.
Well, the guys down here in the pits, I was waiting on everybody to come in, and they all did, but they didn't all stop, including leader Ron Hornaday. This is his crew chief, Doug Richard. Doug, what was going on?
Well, you know, he was right there behind the pace truck, and evidently with the pace truck, it died. So when it turned down on pit road, half the field went down pit road following the pace truck, and half the field stayed out. So we got a little bit of a mess. You know, we're going to stick to our game plan, though. The action-packed collectibles is running pretty good. We're not pushing it right now. We got a long way to go.
But you weren't ready to stop anyway.
Now, our game plan was to stop a little later in the game here, so those guys are going to use their tires up now, I think, the ones that did.
A little confusion, but we'll get it straightened out.
Well, things are new. It's the dawn of a new series. Terry Labonte's your leader. Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner, Kenny Schrader, Johnny Benson, the top 5. Joe Bessey, Scott Lagasse, Mike Bliss, Joe Ruttman, John Nemechek. That's your top 10. There are a few differences and a lot of similarities between the pickup truck in the showroom and the pickup truck out here on the racetrack. And we'll show you a few of those as today goes on, like this one. The only difference in the nose of these two trucks is the street truck has a soft air dam to deflect curbings and such. On the racetrack, you need to get the air up and over. But the contours of the two noses, they're identical.
Well, Mike, as you can see, looking through this regular pickup truck, how much lower this race pickup truck is. Very important. Aerodynamically, the roof line is down. As the air comes over the top of the truck, it hits on the tonneau cover, runs the length of the bed on the pickup truck into this big spoiler. Just like the Winston Cup cars, this spoiler holds the back of the truck down.
Big battle on the restart. They ran side by side for a lap. Hornaday got the lead. Here is Skinner inside of Terry Labonte for second.
Well, the war is fixing to start. If that 3 truck gets up behind Earnhardt's truck there, the number 6 of Ron Hornaday, the battle gets on.
Yes.
Bragging rights in their own shop when they get back.
Here comes Schrader inside Labonte for third. Labonte into DuPont number 5. That's Schrader. Into 52. And right with him, Johnny Benson and Joe Bessey in red.
I would say Joe Bessey's having a great time right now. This is as good as I've seen him run in a couple of years, and he's running side by side right now for 5th place.
Remember when he almost won that Busch race in Atlanta?
Oh yeah, he's a tremendous driver. You see him making the moves there, coming out of the corner. That red ram will go.
4 Chevys and a Dodge in the front 5 for the lead. Here comes Skinner.
Skinner's really made a beeline to the front. It's really his truck is just awesome today.
Skinner's got a lot of straightaway speed, but Ron Hornaday, he's a tough competitor. This will not be just the only pass we see in this race, I guarantee you.
Mike Skinner to the lead. We asked Ron Hornaday if his owner Dale Earnhardt gave him any advice for the running of today's race.
No, he did not. He just said make sure we bring it back in one piece and win the race. You know, I made a mistake by calling him boss once, and he put all of us on equal ground, and there's nobody over anybody. So he's going to be a great owner. You know, Teresa owning the truck and Dale owning the whole teams. It's going to be great running for him.
Hornaday runs second right now. Skinner's checking out.
Boy, I was just fixing to say, I made that comment they were going to race so hard, but Skinner's got about a 12-14 truck length lead right now.
You said truck length. I like that.
Truck laps.
Truck length. Ron Hornaday in the number 16 in second. Kenny Schrader in third. Terry Labonte fourth. Johnny Benson fifth. Joe Bessey is sixth. Scott Lagasse, the road racer, is seventh. Coming up to 8 is Mike Bliss.
See Terry Labonte moving on the outside of Schrader there. I think Schrader may be having a little bit of a handling problem getting out of the corner. You watch this 5 truck now going down the back straightaway. He's got a lot of straightaway speed. He's on the outside of Schrader getting in the corner. They're side by side. We'll find out who's got the power now.
Lap truck McEachern down to the inside. Gives plenty of room as Schrader and Labonte come by 2 abreast, and Labonte will take the spot.
Oh, he's still smoking that right rear. I tell you, I don't know.
So is Benson.
Benson, I think what they're doing is getting down in that corner so hard is actually smoking that right rear when they pick the throttle up.
You know, I find that hard to believe. I really think that's the problem that Terry Labonte had earlier, and they said it was just a little bit of leakage from water. and I still think that it's the same thing.
Look at the hood on Schrader's truck there. It's bouncing all around. What a great shot. You think you just sit there and ride through the corner. Look at him work that steering wheel trying to keep control of that truck.
Best seat in the house.
Kenny really looks like he's driving a truck, too. I mean, you know.
Yes. He's a pickup man.
He's a pickup man.
You got it. Mike Skinner's pulling a disappearing act on the field here as they battle for second and third, fourth and fifth, side by side.
Here goes Johnny Benson pulling up beside of Schrader. He can't quite get enough. You see Schrader close in, getting in the corner. Benson's about a half a truck length lead now coming out of the corner. Schrader's on the bottom side. Looks like they touched just a little bit. Those two trucks are equal.
Right behind them, side by side. Here comes Lagacy on the outside of Joe Bessey. And that's Mike Bliss. The Ultra Wheels truck right behind them.
He's already won in one race today. He's on a beeline to the front, trying to win another truck race.
Won the USAC Silver Crown event earlier. The third of our 5 features today in the Copper World Classic. The one thing you can't see from this is just how hard and how fast these guys are running. This looks like the interstate here. You know, as you sit there and watch that truck, oh, he's just driving along. The heck he is.
I tell you, it's just like watching a Winston Cup race. These trucks are running really fast, and you know, qualifying was only about 3/4 of a second slower than the Winston Cup car.
Second place, Terry Labonte, DuPont number 5. Ron Hornaday drops to third. Let's check with Glenn.
Mike, I rechecked with Gary DeHart, the crew chief for Terry Labonte. Now he tells me they're concerned that may be rear end grease, rear end smoke. Also, Toby Butler just came in. He had to. The window net came loose, was flopping outside the truck. While he was in, they decided to change the right side tires also, but they got the window net back up, got his 2 tires changed, sent him back out.
Steve McEachran on pit road now as you watch Terry Labonte. And where is our leader? I think he's in Tucson. He's that far in front of the field right now. There's a look at Mike Skinner. And way back there is the rest of the field. 41 laps complete. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the NASCAR Super Truck Series by Craftsman at the 18th Annual Copper World Classic on TNN is brought to you by Skin Bracer Aftershave. More than a great scent by Bennett.
46 laps complete in the inaugural Super Truck Series by Craftsman race in NASCAR. 46 laps down. There is your leader, Mike Skinner. He has nobody in his mirror. Let's go to his pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, you're looking at Richard Childress, who, of course, owns the truck, and he's used to seeing his cars run out front, but, man, he's blistering the field.
Yeah, you know, we had a problem in qualifying. Our ignition went out, and the truck's been running good, so we're just trying to keep Mike settled down right now.
It looks pretty settled. What we want to know, were there any special feelings when he was racing Earnhardt's truck there?
Now, to me, it's just another truck. That's the way we are at Winston Cup. Every car, you know, we just race them all.
I like that. Just another.
Let's go back to the battle at 8th place. Scott Lagacy, veteran road racer, SCCA Sport Renault champ at the start of his career. And getting underneath him is Joe Ruttman. Lagacy's crew chief is Billy Nasowitz, who was crew chief for all of Richie Evans' modified championships. So Billy's got a little bit of mischief in him because Lagacy's a road racer, used to more turning right than left. They drove through a construction zone the other night. Billy was going to grab a no right turn sign and use it for Scott's pit board.
Yeah. We're still figuring out what we're going to do with Joe. You know, Joe's doing a really good job today with Lagacy, and you know, this truck deal is just real exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Here's Joe Ruttman. And the Mark Simo Ernie Irvin truck, the Coke machine.
Ernie just kicked me when he started by him there. I think he's getting a little excited. He said just a second ago, it's time for Joe to pick it up just a little bit, and it looks like he listened to you a little bit.
I tell you, that Robert Yates motor sure ran really good down the back straightaway there, and you know, hopefully he can get towards the front.
Mike Bliss just ahead of them battling. That's Mike Bliss on the outside, and Jim Smith's Ultra Wheels Ford. Joe Bessey in the number 30 Dodge. Taylor Togg's entry. Well, that Dodge got that interesting snout on it where the hood curves in. Very aerodynamic big truck look to it.
I'm impressed. This is the first time this truck's been on the racetrack, and he's running super well. A call for Joe Bessey and the Dodge.
Had a report earlier, one truck had lost its tailgate. What do we do in that situation? We've never had that before. EIRI.
Right.
All the rules apply except in rare instances. I guess this is one. 51 laps.
That sure is a good battle right there. You know, everybody seems to be having a good one. Benson's truck is really running good. You can really have a good view of the back of all those trucks.
Well, Johnny Benson's running in 4th place right now. You see Joe Bessey really closing in well, getting in the corner there. So he's got a very good handling truck. And down the straightaway, it looks like Johnny Benson might have just a little more down the straightaway. But watch going in the corner here. He gains about 10 or 12 truck lengths getting in the corner.
A little bit of rear end smoke on Benson's truck as well, especially at turn 2, more so than at turn 4. There it is.
If I was Benson, I would not look in the mirror. I would just keep my concentration on the front part of that truck, because I tell you what, it's awful to look in the mirror and pick up smoke off your own particular truck.
I mean, he must have about the same kind of problem that Terry Labonte does.
Yes, there's Johnny Benson.
Yeah, that's Johnny Benson. That's his office right there, folks.
At work. Mike Skinner is the leader. Terry Labonte second. Ron Hornaday now third. Kenny Schrader is fourth, and Johnny Benson is fifth. We'll be right back to Phoenix. Well, it doesn't get a lot closer to this. Turn 3, Joe Bessey and Johnny Benson go at it, and right behind him, Joe Ruttman's trying to move up with Mike Bliss chewing away at his tailgate, loosening him up a bit.
Wow, I tell you what, that's about as far sideways as you want to go. He was looking out the right door window just then, coming off the corner. Joe Bessey driving his heart out here. Whoa, a little loose there. You can see him making an adjustment on the steering coming out. Mike Bliss has moved up under him there.
Scott Lagacy's right with him. There's Bessey in 30.
The yellow's out.
And we have caution.
Don't see any reason for the caution, but obviously there would be something.
Some things are merciful.
I've had a caution like that before that I really didn't want, and we seem to have it.
And you've had a few that you were glad to see.
Right. Most of the time, you're glad to see them.
We'll get the reason for the caution when we come back. 59 laps are complete. Mike Skinner has the big lead. And again, let's have another look at some of the similarities and differences between the super trucks and the street trucks. NASCAR says the air dam on the race car must clear the ground by 3.5 inches. This one's about old beer can height. It has to clear whatever you're going to run over.
As you can see on the regular truck, you can look under here. You can see all of me almost, 7 inches of clearance. And on the super truck, you can barely see my hand under here, 4.5 inches.
This street truck rolls out of the dealership for about $25,000. For a race truck, your wallet better be about 4 times as thick. The caution is out for debris on the back straightaway at lap 60 with 20 laps to go here. Now, some of the drivers came in, some stayed out.
That's what I was going to ask Ernie. With 20 laps to go, what do you think was the right decision? If you had a chassis problem, of course, I think stopping is the right thing to do and take on new tires and all. But 20 laps to go?
I tell you, if I had a stopwatch, I'd probably have a better idea of what that would be a good deal, because I don't really know how much the trucks have actually slowed down. If they've slowed down quite a bit, then it's going to be a good move to actually come in and pit.
Well, let's find out. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, as you said, most of the guys came in. Mike Skinner came in for right side tires and fuel, as did P.J. Jones and a chassis adjustment. Hornaday came in, got right side tires and fuel, and made a chassis adjustment. His truck was awfully loose. But Terry Labonte, now leading the race, did not come in. He decided to stay out. We're down in his pit. We'll ask Gary Dehart, his crew chief, just exactly. He's in conference right now with the truck owner, Rick Hendricks. We'll see if we can get a word with Gary here. Gary, why did you guys decide to risk it?
Well, there's not enough laps left, and if you got back there and got hung up in traffic, some of that lap stuff, you can't get to the front on 2 tires. You ain't gonna run that much faster anyway. So we just stayed out. We was running good.
A little bit of Winston Cup strategy there. Also, these guys aren't running for a series championship. They're not worried about points. They don't have anything to lose.
Thanks, Glenn. LABONTE stayed out. So did Kenny Schrader, Joe Bessey, Scott Lagasse, Jeff Bodine. And we're ready to go green. 20 to go, or rather 17 laps to go.
Well, we're going to see whether that crapshoot everybody just made was going to pay off or not, because the 3 truck of Mike Skinner was only in 7th spot on the restart there. So he's got a good chance. If he got any kind of advantage to getting on new tires and filling up the fuel, he'll be right back up front, I think.
And he was only 1 area code ahead of the field at the time of the caution.
I tell you, when Jeff Bodine come in the last time we pitted, he didn't really run all that much better. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going on.
Battle is for 6th place. Bodine on the outside in black and blue. Mike Skinner on the inside, number 3.
Well, right there, he's getting under Lagasse coming up out of the corner to take over that spot. See Jeff Bodine just behind him. Wow, that 3 truck is flying down the straightaway.
It goes down the straightaway for sure.
Scott Lagasse on the outside, number 24, the DuPont truck. Jeff Bodine, the X-side, number 7. And P.J. Jones, we saw at the top of the show, in 7th place, in the diehard number 1. Let's go to Mike Skinner's pit.
Well, let's get another opinion about that. Terry LABONTE did not pit, Richard. You guys got 2 tires. They don't think that Mike can catch Terry on just 2 tires. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be tough. This racetrack with that many laps, but, we had to make the call. We made it. We had to pay for it if we made the wrong one.
That's what I like about him. Professional. They will stand by their decision. The reason they had to make the call, they were the lead truck. They didn't know what anybody else was going to do. It was up to them to start it.
And as we speak, there goes Mike Skinner in the 3rd place by Joe Bessey.
Right past the Dodge. Up to 3rd. 13 laps to go.
That's Johnny Benson Jr. making a move there.
It's on the inside of Bob Strait, and that's Ron Hornaday in number 16 pulling down on Benson. They're all top 10 trucks there as the laps wind down. Most of this series will be on tracks shorter than the mile at Phoenix. They'll also run a couple of road courses, and you'll see 10 of the 20 races right here on TNN Live.
What's really neat is a lot of these guys will take their trucks to Sears Point, the actual truck they ran right here at Phoenix. And that's one of the good things about this division. The trucks were prepared, and they could go road course racing or short track racing.
Johnny Benson. Right behind him, Ron Hornaday.
We have a fight for 2nd here. That's Kenny Schrader on the outside. Mike Skinner making a move on the inside. If Kenny can hold him up.
Trouble in turn 2. 1 truck around, and everybody scattered.
Whoa, we have some more spinning just in front of there.
Bill Sedgwick. We have 3 trucks involved. 37, Bob Strait. With 11 laps to go, 29, Keselowski. And Bill Sedgwick were the 3 trucks involved.
Mike, all the strategies out the window now. Sitting in 2nd place right now is Mike Skinner on better tires, full of fuel. Terry LABONTE, he made a choice a while ago, but I think he might get him.
Well, now they've heated up those new tires and run them 10 laps. We'll see how much better they are. Let's show you what happened here at turn 2.
You see the truck getting loose there.
That's Bob Strait.
Got loose right in front of my truck.
Yeah. Mike Bliss got underneath that trouble there. A lot of them got by this wreck and started spinning on up the racetrack here.
Strait magically avoided contact with anybody. But Bill Sedgwick went around, and so did Keselowski.
Did you notice that wasn't Joe Ruttman got by? It was my truck. It's a difference when your dollar bills go by a wreck.
If he'd been in the wreck, it would have been Joe Ruttman.
I should have been saying the Coca-Cola truck. Yeah.
You could say that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. 9 laps to go. Rick Corelli back on pit road.
Crowley's just had a tough day today. You know, it's a shame because he was really one of the faster trucks in practice. But he'll definitely be back. I mean, that's the thing. That team's a good team, and he'll be racing in the full truck series.
So the pace truck leads them around again. They'll come around and get 8 to go. Here's a look at Terry Labonte up on the point in the DuPont Chevy. Mike Skinner, the Goodwrench Chevy, number 3. Johnny Benson in 18. Joe Bessey, the Dodge, number 30. Scott Lagasse in 24. There's the diehard number 1 of P.J. Jones. Roger Mears, number 25, the Budweiser Chevy. A good run here. This truck series is new, but it already has its own magazine. Super Truck Racing Magazine is the officially licensed publication of the Super Truck by Craftsman series. You can get a year's worth, 6 issues for $12.95. Call 714-572-2255 for details. Look at the running order here with 8 laps to go. Well, the Winston Cup drivers didn't come in here and dominate. I'm not sure anybody thought they would, but there was that possibility. Give Jack Sprague a call. And Bruce Griffin's truck, I think he's number 31. They are looking for a sponsor for that ride. Run the whole series.
Boy, you wonder what's going through Terry Labonte's mind right now, because he is such a cool customer under fire that right now he's figuring, what do I have to do?
There's Sammy Swindell, World of Outlaws champ. The Bob Sutton, Brad Aikens channel lock, number 38. Had a couple of decent runs at Tucson. As we get ready to go green. Labonte, Skinner, Schrader, and Bessey, Lagasse, Bodine, P.J. Jones. 1 to go. Who do you think?
Well, I have to go back to what happened just a little while ago on worn tires. The 3 truck of Mike Skinner had quite a dominance. It was like he was in another race from the rest of them. Terry Labonte is a good closer though, so I wouldn't take anybody right now. It's up to who wants it the most.
Ernie, who do you think?
Well, it's, you know, Mike Skinner's truck really ran awful good before they pitted, and it sure looked like it's running awful good after. I really think Skinner's probably gonna pull it off.
Glenn?
I have to echo that, Mike. I'm down in Richard Childress' pits now. They got pretty smug looks on their face. But I watched Mike Skinner go by Ken Schrader under green there. He just simply drove under him, drove away from him. I think now that he's up on Labonte's bumper, it won't take him long to get back to the front.
A fellow from Kansas named Jim Roper won the first NASCAR, what they now call Grand National race. And they'll remember for a long time whoever wins this one, the first Super Truck race. We'll find out who it is in, it'll be 6 laps when they come by. Labonte on the button, brings him around.
Boy, he didn't waste any time getting up to speed, but he didn't pull anything on Skinner. Skinner sitting right behind him. Schrader, the first 3 trucks, broke away just a little bit.
Long gap back to Joe Bessey in 4th, and Scott Lagasse 5th, Jeff Bodine in 6th. 3 Chevys to slug it out for the win. Labonte, Skinner, and Schrader. Jeff Bodine, bold pass on the inside, takes a spot away from Lagasse. And here comes Skinner. He has Labonte in his gun.
Here we go. We got an accident off of turn 4.
Oh, Lagasse goes around with P.J. Jones. Kerry Teague up in the fence. Lagasse spun it and got going again. Jerry Glanville spun up there as well.
I'm not real sure who actually got together, but 2 of them got together.
You see these trucks racing back to the green here. This is under Winston Cup rules. They have to race back to the flag. So here they come off turn 4.
And this race may end under caution.
Skinner. As they take the yellow flag. Caution is out at lap 76. Now, the rules for this series do provide that the race ends under green, white, checker. So even if we exceed 80 laps, we'll go green, white, checker. We're going to check and get a ruling on whether or not Skinner was eligible to race back to the flag. He was not. So he has taken his position back in second place behind Terry Labonte.
Mike, they'll get to restart this thing. There's nobody up against the wall. There's nothing on the racetrack. They'll restart.
What happened?
This is PJ, right under Scott Legacy. He just gets in the left for a quarter there, and around they go.
Boy, look at Roger Mears in the Bud truck getting by. Gary Collins gets by. Legacy will spin it and go. That's Kerry Teague up in the fence. Jerry Glanville spinning the black truck. Legacy got out of there.
That was a wise move because
Yes.
there's lots of trucks coming.
In a narrow part of the racetrack.
Mike, just to let you know what happened to PJ there, he was making a move under Legacy. Legacy was very low on the racetrack, and PJ got just on the apron just a little bit and washed out into Legacy and got into the quarter panel. When he did, it turned them both around.
TNN's cameras have been following P.J. Jones this weekend for TNN's new weekly series win. He'll be one of the first drivers profiled. Had a nice visit with his dad, of course, former Indy winner Parnelli Jones. The other evening, the Craftsman function. That's one apple didn't fall very far from the tree.
You're right about that. What a great racing family. What a tradition. Anytime you hear anything Jones, you know that's a racing family.
Now, Paige Jones continuing his convalescence and recovery out there in Los Angeles. Want to say hi to Paige?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we really want to say hi to them. It's tremendous how Paige is coming back.
Well, they're coming down for it all right here. The green flag will fly.
Green, white checker. Labonte trying to hold Mike Skinner, Kenny Schrader, Joe Bessey, Jeff Bodine, and Mike Bliss. Jack Sprague has moved up to 6th. Boy, Skinner is locked on to the rear bumper like Labonte had a trailer hitch.
Right now, Terry Labonte has to check every place that 3 truck might make a pass on the bottom. Skinner's down on the apron, coming up side by side through turn 3.
Here he goes.
They don't touch. Labonte gave him room. Not a lot of room.
But he got on the outside, and you know, that outside lane really seems to keep running. I still think he's going to hold out for a while.
Mike side by side, down in turn 1, coming up out of turn 2.
Boy, Labonte is right there. He is not going to let this one get away.
I tell you, I'm sure Terry's going to drive on into turn 3 off of the deep.
This is it. Skinner ekes out an advantage. Will Labonte cross and dive under? He'll try it. Single file off the corner. Labonte can't get there. Mike Skinner will go to victory lane.
Wow, Mike Skinner done everything but a left turn coming off that corner. Wow, was that truck loose.
Labonte threw everything he had at Skinner. Mike Skinner takes Richard Childress's truck. Will Lind, the crew chief, told me this morning he didn't know if the truck would even run. They had that problem in qualifying with the ignition. When they went to time the motor, they had a problem. Put a whole new ignition in it for qualifying. Didn't work that well, and there was no practice yesterday. So Will Lind said he didn't even know if he knew it would fire up, but he didn't know if it would make any power. Boy, did it.
Let's look as they come off turn 4. You can see Mike Skinner coming out of the corner. Watch him get sideways here. I'm telling you, that's some great driving by both parties. There is no loser. There was second place. Terry Labonte did everything he could.
You don't come much closer to losing it than right there. And that's what it took to win it all. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the NASCAR Super Truck Series by Craftsman at the 18th Annual Copper World Classic on TNN is brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet.
High fives all around in victory lane as the first line in the record book will show the name of Mike Skinner as the inaugural Super Truck by Craftsman Series winner. Down amidst Richard Childress, and the winning driver is Glenn Jarrett.
And the old history maker being congratulated by everyone, owner Richard Childress, and we'll get a word with him. Mike, I got to ask you, it looked like on the last lap coming off the corner that the payload got a little light in the rear end there.
Yeah, the payload got real light there for a minute. I'll tell you, anybody besides Terry Labonte, I'd have really had second thoughts about racing like that. Terry's a real smooth racer, and I'll tell you, he gave me just enough room. He didn't give me any extra, but it worked out. The GM Goodwrench service truck really toted the mail today. I was really proud of it.
Well, it didn't look like that things were going to go your way. You had trouble qualifying. You didn't get any practice after that. Really kind of shot in the dark as to what the thing would do.
Well, we rolled off the trailer really fast. The truck was real good, and we had a lot of problems, just one problem after another. And, you know, things didn't go real smooth there for a couple of days. And yesterday when we went to qualify the truck, it got right here at the flag stand and just quit. And we had a coil wire give up on us, a little ignition problem. And I'll tell you, Terry Elledge and Robert Scott and all them boys, all the crew just worked their tail off. I don't think anybody slept a wink last night. Everybody just so worried about what we're going to do to fix this truck. And those boys did a heck of a job. They fixed the truck, and she never missed a beat today.
This guy right here did a heck of a job also. He put it on the money when he had to. Congratulations to Mike Skinner, Richard Childress, and all the guys with the number 3 truck. What a great race.
Somebody had to win the first one, and Mike Skinner is the man. Terry Labonte finishes second. Kenny Schrader comes home well-deserved third, and give Joe Bessey a nod with the Dodge in fourth. And Jeff Bodine puts all 3 makes in the top 5 with his Ford. Jack Sprague finishes up 6th, edging P.J. Jones. Butch Miller out of Vermilion, Ohio, finishes up in the 8th spot with a car they changed the whole front suspension on this morning. He didn't know what it would do, and he got rewarded with a top 10 finish. Johnny Benson winds up in 9th. Pole sitter Ron Hornaday rounds out the top 10. We'll have lots more from Phoenix when we come back to the Copper World Classic after this.